You've heard of ProQuest as an information aggregator. Now we call ourselves as an education technology company because we provide all sorts of technologies and content, library management systems, or even citation management systems. So whichever the academic or research ecosystem requires, we can provide that. The good thing is that we work with a lot of contributors. You may think that it's only publishers, but the good thing is that we work with publishers and any sort of institutions or organizations which find interesting to have digitized content, repositories digitized, and that sort of 21st century solutions. So we work with academic and national libraries, different association libraries, a lot of government agencies, especially in the UK and in the US, and national and state libraries, so that we can always provide what they are looking for and what they would like to have. This cooperation with these various institutions and organizations led to the state where now we have 1.5 billion digitized contents. It means that you can get scholarly journals, you can get news, you can get archives, you can get ancient printed books from us and through us, and both the academic faculty or the researchers can use it for the best purposes, for researches or for studies. And this content spans over 6 centuries altogether, and if we check our subscribers, every second we have 30 searches on our platforms. Obviously, it is because we have full text contents, we have ebooks, we have the archives, bibliographies, so it's a huge collection which you can access to. And it's good that there is something, and there is something rich we can provide to the community. But we see, especially in Eastern Europe, that there are changes, very significant changes, and these changes usually a little bit painful for the universities and for actually everyone in the chain. The universities are facing a changing environment. Young people or families are leaving the countries, so you have to fight for the same student number as before. It would be good to have more financial support from the state. It would be good to have more financial support for paying students, so the international students are really valuable. The universities have to compete with each other for that. You can attract both the state funds and the paying students if your output, your scientific measures are really great, so it's expected to have higher and higher scientific impacts and more international collaborations. And for the management of the university, it's always important to realize that it's not only to keep people happy today, but they have to raise the next generation of the researchers, because if you do not have researchers or lecturers in 10 years, this whole sustainability of the university can be at risk. And within this environment, the libraries have to face again different challenges. Couple of times I'm hearing that students go to the library, ask for a ready-made diploma for like tomorrow or something, so very unrealistic expectations are associated with the libraries. But anyhow, the function of the libraries have changed. We have to see that it's more like a teamwork space, a community space. New functions and new services are required, while I see as well that there are maybe less and less librarians, there are maybe less and less enthusiasm, because of young people think that the library may not be the best place to work with, and the management still have to compare and still have to run the library at a higher and higher phase as before. And I see that now within this conference, you meet a lot of providers, you meet the publishers, you meet the aggregators, you have new issues and new ways to consider, like open publishing, open science, aggregation. So you have to really consider that all these inputs are really require a lot of thinking. And if we take the students, we always say that, oh, these present young guys, they are a little bit careless, they don't really focus on studies, but they do, but they have a different lifestyle, they were born digital, they expect something else. We expect them to be specialized, to be expert in their field, and on the other hand, we expect them to be a good co-worker and meet team member at the same time. So it's another challenge for them. So their critical thinking must work well, their communication must be good, and this is the environment when we have to, all parties have to work together. And this is what we see, that these changes create the situation when all academic research is changing, not only here but worldwide. This is the trend, and we have seen that sort of proved as well. Time after time we make surveys among our customers and our patrons. Last year we interviewed 1,336 people, mainly lecturers who do undertake research as well. And we asked them what kind of content they use for their own researches, what kind of content they recommend for during teaching, and then we asked the students as well. It's obvious that the scholarly journals are still number one, so you still need to be aware which title is the latest, the freshest news in the subject. You have to know where to find that. But then it's interesting that books and e-books are really important in both research and the academic field. E-books can be interesting because I know e-books are relatively new, or the usage of e-books in Eastern Europe can be new, because we have to understand the terminology of the libraries, how to loan an e-book, what kind of device we need for an e-book, and so on. The good answer is that there is no need for any special device for ebooks, because from a provider, from a primary publisher, or from an aggregator like ProQuest, if you have an ebook, you get the platform with that which is working like a database. So it's quite easy to follow and to use the ebooks. It's important to see that dissertations have become really interesting. Nowadays, the dissertations hold like the secret for the next research outbreak, or the next big thing within the research or scientific life. And quite often the researchers themselves would like to get more information on specific laboratory experiments or backgrounds, and this is the dissertations are for, where they can find more information on various articles. And you can see that for students, dissertations are important as well. And again, for the academic researches, fresh thinking, government documents, raw materials for articles are really important. And for studies, the case studies are important as well, both at the student level and at the lecturers. What does it mean for us, and why do we care at all? Because we could just say that you find anything and everything there. So ProQuest have a new approach today, and now I just would like to introduce this new approach to you. We mentioned the databases, we mentioned the government papers, the dissertations, e-books, even videos, and you can think of various collections meeting these requirements: a database, a nice e-book collection, video collection, and so on. The novelty now here is that as of this year, ProQuest has introduced a new content which is making sure that all the different types of documents and sources are available on one platform. So instead of the silos for the various collections, you use only one content. So you will have access to ebooks, to dissertations, databases through the platform. So this is a multi-format and cross-searching platform. This is what we call ProQuest One Academic. And finally, the good thing is that for those who know ProQuest Central, it will mean only a much higher or a much bigger pool of information where the results are coming from, because the search platform is the ProQuest platform. The search is integrated, so with one search you make searches in all types of content, and then when you get the result, it will stay still on the same platform, and even if you click on an ebook or on a video, you will be still navigating on the ProQuest platform. So no need to switch from one platform to the other. For the librarians, it means that you don't have to worry about training the patrons and the students about the other platforms. Again, the admin side of the collection is much simpler this way. So this is ProQuest One Academic. It's a new content started this year. And as you can see, I wanted to introduce this new content because ProQuest Central is one of the key elements of this revolutionary content. ProQuest Central, with the 30,000 journals included and the other content types I will tell about a little bit later, plus Academic Complete, which is our ebook collection, 10 subject areas, 170,000 ebooks. These 10 subject areas are social science, medicine, business, arts, history, language and literature, religion and philosophy, science and technology, education and law. I think these are the 10 things. The dissertations are included, and you can say, oh, dissertations, yes, all more than 5 million dissertations are included, and half of them are in full text. And if you compare to other collections, one of the biggest difference is not only the number of the dissertations, but the search options. So with the dissertations, you can search for not only the author and subject and title, but you can even search for the institution where the dissertation was made, very importantly the consultant, and even the committee members. And you can make searches even for the cited authors and different references. And it's important to mention that ProQuest has indexing the cited articles, authors and titles as well, because you can make searches for references within ProQuest Central as well. So with one clever search or two clever searches, if you save that, you will have an extra big pool of raw materials for your own research and for your own articles. The fourth element of the ProQuest One Academic collection is, it's called A1, which sounds a bit funny to me. It's academic video online, which is finally a huge collection of scientific and academic videos from A to Z, from anthropology to zoology at the end. And you get all the content, you get all the nice features with the platform, searches, advanced search, even command line searches, then the citation, the saving options, sending, sharing option. So it's quite widespread. And it's not different than what you have at ProQuest Central. Before going on, I would like to talk a little bit more about ProQuest Central, which is a key element of ProQuest One Academic. I'm sure some of you have access to it, and I encourage all universities to consider ProQuest Central for the next subscription period. Why? It's altogether 47 databases. these 47 databases can be used as standalone databases or at any combination or at once all the databases. I'm sure you can't read all the names over there, but it's important that the colors show different subject areas. So we have business, medicine, interdisciplinary contents, social science, and social science include even law and education, religion. Importantly, we have arts and humanities in the collection. And as new collection and new content, we have 7 science and technology databases. These science and technology databases are highlighted here. So from agriculture, biology, earth, environment, meteorology, computer science, advanced technology, material science and engineering are included now in ProQuest Central. So it's worth considering to have it. And of course, you can see the logos of different publishers we work with. Just mention a couple of names, the Nature, Springer, Emerald, Cambridge, so Taylor and Francis. So those universities who are thinking to expand to these publishers, ProQuest Central can be one good option too. I think you may consider ProQuest Central as well, because we are enriching the content every year, so it's not it's never finished. It's never ready and made completely. The good thing is that this year over 1,400 journals were added, 240 from Taylor and Francis, more than 100 from Springer. We work with Wiley as well, and Nature group as well. It's important to mention that only ProQuest has Nature titles included in the aggregated content with the current issues. And we have exclusive contents from Emerald and Palgrave Macmillan as well. So you may consider ProQuest Central about these publishers too. And as you could refer back to the survey, case studies and company profiles and those materials which help for teaching are included in higher and higher number. So we work with a lot of business research companies and those companies who put together raw materials and country and industry profiles as well. So this way we can say now that at ProQuest Central you will see 2 million working papers, 65 million company profiles, 15,000 books. These books are either full books or chapters from various books, 260,000 dissertations, scholarly journals, videos, case studies, a lot of case studies, market and industry research, magazines and trade journals, and newspapers. I would call everyone's attention to newspapers, because if you work for a university library, maybe the public library function to provide news is not number one service. But if you consider that you may have a social science faculty, you may have an economic faculty, and then these researchers and students need to see what's going on in the world right now. So the news and the magazines are really actively contributing to that service when they see what's going on in Hungary or in the world or in Germany. So it's important to mention that. Not to forget about the languages, the various languages. So though ProQuest uses English as main language, but a lot of contents are coming from Europe and from Asia as well. But if we just concentrate on Europe, German, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian languages are included, or newspapers are included. What does it what does it really mean? From New York Times to Guardian, Le Monde, Wall Street Journal, Economist, Financial Times. I use the Trinity for the Economist, Wall Street Journal, Financial Times for social science and business studies, South China Morning Post, El Mundo, New Yorker, but we can list El País, El Mundo, and other titles. For The Economist, let me just highlight that from January 2018, we have the PDF version included. So the way it is printed is the way what you get in ProQuest Central. So again, you may consider what it means beyond the scholarly journals. The working papers, dissertations, conference proceedings are included, and just some practical knowledge. If you are asked to extract some of these contents, please go to the advanced search page, and from among the source type, select either the working papers or the dissertations or the conference proceedings, and then on the advanced search page, you can make the search for either any word or subjects and so on. So it's easy to collect and easy to extract these contents. And besides these previously mentioned contents, newspapers are included, as I've explained. And these newspapers, it's altogether 3,000 newspapers and different magazines, like digital format, digitally born newspapers are included, and a lot of videos by now. So that can be interesting for social sciences, language studies, or even the public library functions. What else do we have? It's important to mention, if you are from a university for economics or business studies, ProQuest's main business collections are included in ProQuest Central. ABI Inform is like our flagship in the business studies, with over 8,000 journals, scholarly journals, but other smaller collections like accounting and let me just check, Asian and European business collection and business market research collections are included. So market research is from Economist Intelligence Unit or BMI First Research are included here. So it's easy to use for the studies or for lecturers at the end of the day. What else do we have besides medicine, besides business, medical content? The good thing is that we have the Medline and a very strong, our biggest medical content, which is again more than 5,000 journals, and the journals are all the Nature journals, New England Journal of Medicine, the Lancet for Lancet magazines, and or journals, and BMJ journals. So if you are working for a medical university, you can feel that it's quite good to find. And the good thing is that for the ProQuest Central content, you can use the ProQuest thesaurus and you can use the mesh as well. So it's easy to extract the right content. And why do I say we have a good medical content? It's really easy to use and it has a lot of rich content, both the premier medical content, but not only the clinical or for the doctors' training, but for neighboring contents like nurses and social workers can work and can find interesting things. Even for physical education, the medical content can be used. It's important that we have over 600 psychology journals. About 2/3 of them are included or indexed in the APA PsycInfo content. So we try to add those contents which are looked for by the libraries and the universities. And as a novelty and as a new way of exploring the medical content, please don't forget that we have more and more evidence-based content. So you can make searches for systematic reviews or meta-analysis, and then you will see a lot of content from the ProQuest Central database. Previously, I've mentioned that we have increased the number of databases, and it's not only the number of databases, but the subject coverage. So by now, ProQuest Central includes all the full-text databases from the SciTech collection, what we had. So environment, earth, meteorology, biology, and biology is especially not only human biology, but plant and animal biology, earth, material science, engineering, science collection, computer, advanced technologies are included. So again, if you are from an agriculture university, or if you are from a technology university, you may consider the ProQuest Central collection. And just to highlight again for the social science experts, it's important to say that our social science databases cover sociology, social science in the wider meaning, but religion, like justice and criminology, library science, linguistics, and I think that's, and very importantly, political sciences. So it's good to have all these databases together, and education. So wherever there is training of the future teachers, it can be discussed for the ProQuest Central content. And why ProQuest Central altogether? It's almost 50 databases, multidisciplinary, multi-format databases. These cover 175 different subject areas from different content types, different document types. You can always get the latest news. And the good thing is that these contents are cross-searchable, so you don't have to switch platforms from here as well. And just for your info, you may have seen that we are increasing the content all the time. I was at the Analyst Plus conference 2 years ago. Last year I couldn't come, unfortunately. And 2 years ago, we made some survey. There was 184 journals from Romania. The good thing is, what I can tell you is that this number, the index journals and conference proceedings, so the indexed material from Romania has grown. Today we have 272 journals indexed, so well done and congratulations. It shows that we are open and we are really happy to include contents. And then if we include your content, you can see how your articles or how your scientific achievements are related to the present international scientific world at the same time. And we believe that it's not only the quantity which we increase, but the quality as well. I know that most of the universities have either Scopus or Web of Science access. Now I took the Shimago ranking, just for your info. You can see that the indexed title number, the full text out of this, and the current full text from the Shimago ranking is quite significant. So if you start to check what you can achieve and you check the data from Scopus or even, let's say, Web of Science, and time after time you will need to see the full article as well. ProQuest Central can help here as well to get access to the full text version of the articles. And that's important because, as I've told you, what we see is that the future lecturers and the future researchers need some help and need some assistance how to create the best scientific output. So that kind of support will help them to create their own career and to work better in their own way. So that was about ProQuest Central as one of the key elements of ProQuest One Academic. But if we go on, I would show you why we think that ProQuest One Academic, the multi-format content, is really important. 2 years ago, we made a survey, and we asked what kind of other types of contents lecturers and professors use. And the good thing is that e-books were mentioned by 4/5 of them, so almost 80% of them, and it showed a very big increase from the previous years. So it's important to see that if people are looking for e-books, a provider should think about it, and we should provide e-books as well. And that's why when we put together our ProQuest One academic content, the academic complete e-book collection was added to the content. By now it's over 170,000 titles, and it's growing again annually. And it covers 10 subject areas. These 10 subject areas in line with the ProQuest Central areas anyway. And the good thing is that we have a very strong cooperation with Wiley. Altogether there are 18,000 Wiley titles within this 170,000, and there are 22,000 DRM-free e-books, which means that it can be downloaded at one session. Just some overview about the contributors. Truly multi-publishing and multidisciplinary. Taylor and Francis, Wiley, Oxford, Breer, De Gruyter, Cambridge University Press, and so on are contributing here as well. Or even Pact Publishing, which can be interesting for the technology universities, are there, Emerald. So that was the reason why we added the e-books. During that survey, we have found that videos have become very interesting as well. So compared to 2014, the use of video was almost doubling. So that's why we were thinking to provide something to the users and the lecturers. And as you may have already seen, the present generation use videos for their daily lives. It's YouTube and TikTok and all the other interesting applications. And what we see is that they tend to use that for their academic search as well and for their studies as well. They don't even realize, but this is the way they go through. And quite often, going back to the different functions of the libraries, they go to the library, they would like to create a short film as one of their teamwork, and they would like to show it as a presentation. So instead of going through this slide-by-slide presentation, nowadays the students are rather making an interview or making a short film about the subject they are asked or they are interested in. Here, can help academic video online, which is the fourth element of the collection. It's altogether 67,000 videos, and it's growing all the time. It's covering a lot of subjects, from anthropology to zoology, as we say. It's very good to have for those who have political science, journalism, media studies, drama, and even music and performing arts. But it supports the medical studies. We have medical imaging, how to read X-ray or how to make a CT and so on. But other psychology, religion, art and architecture, fashion, so it's a widely spread subject what we can have. And again, within ProQuest One Academic, this is part of the ProQuest platform, and you don't have to switch from one platform to the other. And actually, we didn't talk about the dissertations as a separate part or element of ProQuest One Academic, but the dissertations, as I've mentioned, includes over 5 million works from worldwide sources, and about half of them are in full text. And again, you may recall international visibility is quite important. The universities can consider to upload dissertations to the ProQuest dissertation package. This is free of charge, and through uploading to the dissertation package, your work is getting to our 30,000 subscribers, so it can be another way to increase the international visibility. But as of last slides, now we have the ProQuest Central Consortium in the Analysis Plus Consortium. I encourage everyone to think about checking what advantages the ProQuest Central content means. Don't forget that the platform itself is well engineered. Basic and advanced search are used very easily, and we have a publication list where you can find the titles and you can make searches within that. And I would say that our aim is to welcome more and more subscribers so that we can open the national license, and I can assure you that that would give some extra source to all of the institutions in the consortium. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, please let me know. We are outside at the hall, and as I've told you, ProQuest Central, and don't forget the uploads to the dissertations and even indexing to ProQuest Central. Thank you very much.